Hello, and welcome. I'm Gus,
I'm Tim.
I'm Amber.
and we together make Fili Creative, a business doing video, audio, event production, and that noise is Cadmus, and that's
Yep.
on Amber's side of things. And
That's her adorable Bebe.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's hanging out over there.
he will be making some wonderful noise to accompany us. That's awesome. So this is our attempt at, I guess we're just calling this the Fili Daily Vlog, because we are working from home and we are no longer in the same building, just, as a preventative measure for coronavirus, just trying to, do the right thing. Hopefully we are.
Yep.
So this is we did one of these in test, and this is our first official daily vlog. And today is Monday the 16th, 2020. Let me give the month, March 16th, 2020. And I think we're up to about 3,800 cases of coronavirus in the United States.
It's pretty scary.
That it is.
Scary.
That it is. It's kind of frightening. And yeah, so why don't we just talk briefly about, what each of us is doing in terms of like coronavirus measures or whatever. So I'll start here, and maybe you guys can just chime in after that. So I have my voice is a little bit deeper than normal, and that's because I have a sore throat, and I've coughed a little bit last night, and wife is freaked out. She thinks that I have coronavirus. Neither of us know for sure if I do, but
So she locked you in your bedroom?
pretty much, yeah. So I am. We actually have two bedrooms like this with a bathroom in between, and so I have been quarantined into these bedrooms, which will work just fine. I have a wonderful view of our backyard here, so that's nice. Other than that, I'm drinking lots of water and occasionally popping a one of those orange, whatever. I can't remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Vitamin C tablet thingy to,
Yep.
So anyway, that's what's
Yep.
going on my end. Have you guys done anything differently in your daily lives to try to, prevent the spread of this thing, or not really, besides working from home?
Nothing particularly special on my end. I've just been. I went to the store yesterday just to stock up a little bit more on food. So I've got food for weeks, especially since hopefully I'm with this intermittent fasting thing. I'm only trying to eat like every other day, so technically that food should last me as long as I have power, and the meat keeps in the freezer. We'll be fine. But so I have that. As far as like entertainment goes, I have a overly large quantity of movies and TV shows at my disposal. Not only physical copies, but obviously streaming and video games. I just purchased the capture card so that we can do that as an extra source of content, as well as the game Ark. And I've got various other stuff as well here, plus tons of books I should be reading or should have read by now anyway, because I'm lazy. But now that I have glasses, I should be able to read without being uncomfortable. That's really the only thing I've got going. That and hanging out with my cat. So
Nice. And Amber?
Yeah, not much has changed for us. I went shopping. We stocked up for at least a couple weeks worth of food so we wouldn't have to go out and go shopping with a baby in the middle of all of this. We bought extra diapers, formula, stuff like that kind of changed. But beyond that, just working from home is different. I've never had a place to work from home, so that's kind of cool. So it's a first. Other than that, not much has changed.
Agreed. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing over here. Like I've never worked from home either, and so yeah, it's been a little interesting stuff. I don't think I've really gotten anything done because I had to move all this stuff. So anyway.
Yeah. Spent
hopefully
most
we
of the
don't
morning
get all
set
stir
up all
crazy.
equipment. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Especially if it lasts as long as some people are saying, which I really hope it doesn't. But I'm gonna.
Yeah, I've heard that we some schools may not even due to the end of the semester, at least like back in
Yeah, they're just
session,
planning on
like-
coming back next year. Like, they're
Yeah,
just saying
which is-
we're going to stay out the rest of the semester.
Yeah.
which makes me wonder, especially those who have younger kids. So I mean, right now it's not as much of an issue since Cadmus is super young, and
Right.
we have we're fortunate enough to be able to work from home.
Yeah.
But for those parents who may not have that ability, I can't imagine what they're doing, because I wouldn't want to outsource a babysitter in
Right.
this, with this happening.
Right.
I mean, I have no children, so I don't, no, but that's just my
Yeah.
2 cents in that
I
regard.
have a friend who might be able to come and babysit if I was in that position, but that would be somebody who would have to leave and come back here every single day, so the chances of them being infected, you know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. So, we do video production is our main thing, and it's going to be hard to make videos for other people since I feel like the world has changed over the last week, and so it's less socially acceptable to just be out and about. And a lot of the businesses that we do work for instance, the college where I went to, Kansas Wesleyan University, um, they're basically shut their. I mean, they're still teaching, but it's all online, and
Yeah.
so where we're at right now is like a project that was supposed to be due next month is now due 13 months from now. They kicked out their event an entire
Right.
year. So, um,
On the
so
bright side, that gives us plenty of time.
yeah. Oh, time galore. No problem with time. But yeah, our issue now becomes what do we do? How do we how does this business continue? And so I think our answer, at least to start with, is doing original content. So this daily vlog is one thing we're gonna do to just give us something to do for one thing, but also just to keep our audience updated. So we've had some other ideas and some other projects that we've already filmed that are going to be coming out soon, hopefully, on this same YouTube channel and Facebook or wherever you're seeing this right now. So we don't exactly know what the future holds, but it's gonna be interesting. So I think if you guys are okay with it, let's just dive really quick into like I'm gonna just search on CNN and let's just give
Go for
give
it.
a brief update on where things are at right now. So, um, probably the biggest news in the last 24 hours was that the CDC basically put out a thing saying for the next 8 weeks, any gathering 50 or more needs to not happen.
Cancelled.
Which
Right.
is
Yeah.
obviously huge because, like here in Salina, we really didn't have any guidance at all. And there was maybe a slight move to like Wichita just 3 days ago. I think they did no meetings over 250. So bringing that
Mhm.
threshold of events
Down
down
to 50.
is extreme.
Now, is that just a suggestion, or is that a legally we can't do it?
No, it's not illegally. We can't do it. As I understand it, I think it's just a suggestion. But
Right.
but
Just a suggestion.
yeah, the president or the White House was going to have a briefing at sometime this morning actually, and it got kicked out to this afternoon at 3:30. So there's some thought that there might be an announcement there of new measures or possibly even some more extreme, you know, attempts to try to curtail this thing.
Mhm.
So, there's that. Where the stock market is at today, it has come down some more, another
Right.
7% or more, and
What
so
was up with the bailout stuff? Did they actually do that? Did they bail out Wall Street?
yeah. So was it? I think it was last night, or maybe it was this morning. My brain doesn't quite remember right, but basically, the Fed has continued to lower interest rates, and so now we're like basically zero, and so what that really means is that the Fed, all it has left to do in terms of trying to stimulate the economy again is just giving money out or investing in the market. They can
Mm.
no longer raise rates anymore without going negative, which I don't think is something that happens. At least I hope not. That would be the instance where a bank would pay you to lend money. Like it's bonkers. It's really weird stuff. So hopefully we don't go there. There
I
is.
mean,
That's
I'd be
all
okay,
in my head,
I'd be
so.
okay with the bank paying me for my house loan.
I mean, it's true. I wonder if I know that some people have talked about. Well, I don't think it's an official thing, but have suggested maybe like rent forgiveness or like mortgage forgiveness.
Yeah.
While
Which
people
would
are technically under or unemployed. Yeah.
right, which stuff like that or like car payments and stuff like that. I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, it would be nice if they did that. I mean, right now we're in a thankfully favorable position.
Right.
We can still work
actually
from home.
But
Yeah.
people who can't, they're going to be sore.
Agreed.
Right. So it makes me wonder how those companies are going to do. I know Salina seems to have been kind of slow on the uptake as far as making decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
So
like me, like Barnabas, he can't work from home. So
Right.
that's half of our total income
Right.
gone if something happens and they tell us we all have to stay home.
Yeah.
So
hmm
I should hope
unless you
he
can
would get
set
some
up
kind
like
of
a
forgiveness.
forge and everything else in your garage.
Yeah, I'm sure he could do metal work in the garage. You're right.
Just load up one of those lasers
Just
and
bring
just
one
bring
of
it
those
home.
$1 million lasers home.
Who
Just
doesn't want to
throw
put
it
Sit
in
it
the
lasers
on
at
garage.
home?
my woefully unprepared concrete because those things are so heavy it would just fall right through pretty much. That'd be terrible.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. So just looking briefly at some of the other headlines here. Trump did test negative for the coronavirus, so he does not have it,
Noticed.
which was good, I guess. We weren't sure there for a while. um,
It's
um,
surprising considering how many people he's been in contact
Yeah.
with.
right, and how
Who
many
clearly
press
had it.
conferences they've been like
Right.
handing mics around
Mics
or
around. And
Yeah.
he's been
giving
shaking hands with people
handshakes.
and taking pictures with people. Like,
There was the one guy who
Oh
did
my
the
God.
elbow bump, and then
Yeah.
like everybody else up there was just like, ah ha ha, that's funny. They didn't
Except-
even acknowledge
no,
it was
it's not
actually a good
funny.
idea.
That's a good idea.
It's that yeah. Hopefully, it's not one of those things where he'll be the only one to survive for that group. That would be really bad.
It's a terrifying world.
Wouldn't that be
As far as
great?
like
So,
like
yeah,
sh-
I
like
guess
trying to
I
stay
guess
safe
that's,
and like shaking
that's
hands
pretty
and
much.
stuff. I ran into one of our fellow Wesleyan friends, Esteban, the other day in the grocery store, and evidently at the hospital they're using like the elbow shake thing as one action, the other one being like bumping foot
Interesting.
Yeah.
instead of a way of just like not
Yeah.
'cause typically unless you're wearing flip flops you're not going to be touching skin, which
Right.
I mean in this weather.
And your hand are far enough away. Your feet are far enough away from your faces, so you're not gonna like
Right.
stick your feet in your mouth. Whereas your
unless
hands,
like
it's
you're
just-
that flexible, which I am definitely not.
No. me
I am
neither.
not a contortionist
I'm
by
not
any
known
manner.
for my flexibility. Well, so in an effort to keep this thing relatively light-hearted, I think we've kind of been trying some random questions out,
Yeah.
and so I think one of you sent in our chat some links to random questions. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, I sent a couple of them.
Let's let's do the question of the day to start with. What were the last 2 books you read? That's a tough one.
Oh God.
Oh man,
The last 2 books I read. That was probably forever ago.
finished reading or
Yeah. That's the next question I was gonna ask.
let's just say you cracked it open and you read a few pages.
okay. For me, that would probably be my the Foley Grail. And
Oh, yeah.
The Foley Grail, and then I have another one on my shelf that is. I can't remember the name of the title right now, but it is specifically about theater of the mind. So
Cool.
kind of along with the tradition of like radio drama and stuff like with the Foley thing. This is that book is really more like it's someone's thesis that they wrote about theater of the mind and why it's important and all this kind of stuff. So I keep meaning to finish that book, and I just
I know the feeling. Trust me, I know
Yeah.
the feeling.
those would probably be the last actual 2.
Amber, what
That's
about you?
The last book I completely read was The Talisman by Stephen King. A book that I've recently read. Beyond that, I can't remember. Probably a textbook. Because I was revisiting some marketing management stuff.
Oh, God. Okay, so what have I read lately? Nonfiction. Last fall, I read the latest Malcolm Gladwell book, which is called Talking to Strangers. I don't know if you're familiar with Malcolm Gladwell or not, but he kind of delights in subverting kind of our, not our expectations, but like our perception of history and our perception of the world. He just kind of turns it all on its head, and so it's really fascinating read. And this one in particular was, oh boy, talking about how sometimes we get it wrong when we're talking to people, and we think we understand what somebody else is saying, whether it's emotionally or just physically what they're saying, but sometimes we're not really getting the subtext. That's oversimplifying, but that's relatively what it's about. And the other one that I listened to was Dan Brown's Inferno. It wasn't the Inferno. And this is the author of the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and it's the same character, main character, the guy that Tom Hanks played in the movies, Robert Langdon. So let's do a more funny question now, or some humorous funny questions.
Okay, this is what I like. If you could morph two animals to make one super animal, what two animals would you choose and why?
Oh God. Do they have to be real animals?
I think they can be fake. I don't think we don't need to go into a Full Metal Alchemist situation. Because that is straight up the most sad moment in that entire show. So I would say if I could do it, I mean, it already technically exists within the realms of D&D, and that would be an owl bear because
you are
owls
very fond of owlbears.
Owlbears are awesome. Their cubs are adorable. Who doesn't want one of those? Just saying.
I would probably say like my dogs and birds, so like they could fly, because that sounds kind of cool.
I think I would want it to be like a ferret and a bird, so it could like noodle through the air.
I'm just picturing tiny Falcor.
Yeah, tiny Falcor, pretty much.
Great.
Oh my god, that would be adorable.
Wouldn't that be adorable?
Tiny Falcor.
All right, let's get one more question in.
Which one?
What's your plan if there was a zombie apocalypse?
Oh man. Ooh.
Kind of relevant. Good job, question asker. Okay, so I think I know what I would do.
Let's hear it.
Like, depending on how bad it was, like if I was the last person in Salina, kind of like that concept you were talking about. If you're the last person, like how do you hide from a horde of things or people, and where do you hide? Right? I would probably pick like, I don't know, something makes me want to say something like the mall, but there's not enough like back doors, because you could like go and hide in a shop and like close the metal gates to keep things out. If you do that, then you can hide there, but then there's no way out of those rooms. And there's not a lot of food in the mall, so like.
Wasn't that the plot to Dawn of the Dead?
Maybe I would choose like Dillon's, but Dillon's is really open and there's not like a good place to hide. So I don't know.
Zombie apocalypse.
Here's a question: in this circumstance, can the zombies swim or survive being in water?
I don't know.
Because my answer definitely, like, if they can, then I feel like it's hopeless. But if
that's true.
That's right, because you don't like deep water.
We could just get on a giant yacht and go be in the ocean.
Yeah, or
like,
an
fish
island,
for our
or
food,
yeah.
Oh, that's true. Just like clear an island and just keep them from getting.
I would definitely purchase a sword.
It would have to definitely not be like a big island with lots of zombies, or then you'll just be like Dead Island, and
I was gonna say there's a video.
That's no good.
Okay, so I think my plan would be to make sure I have. I mean, it's I guess the ideal strategy, which is to make sure I have food and weapons. Technically, I do have my batleths.
Hey.
Which, yes, I'm an incredible nerd, so I have those easily reachable. Plus, I have a couple of canes that have a really thick head on them that I could use as a bashing tool. Not that I've thought about this before, but it'd be nice to have a place that is, I guess, somehow like two entrances, like maybe a house with like all the windows boarded up and like a trap door that they couldn't find, and like a back door entrance that's super like, hard to find or something. I don't know. It's tough. The other question is, would you have a team with you, or would you just be you?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I assume you would want to keep your baby with you.
Maybe we're just overthinking it. Maybe all we need is just some 200 industrial-sized glue traps.
Good idea.
You just surround your house in glue traps, and they all get stuck to it, and it's minor inconvenience.
I vote
then you
we
just
set
get
up...
to smell rotting dead zombies in your front and backyard until
it's fertilizer.
All over.
Like,
right.
yeah.
Or okay, hear me out. Use steal one of the lasers that Barnabas works with, and then set it up in a way in which it can like move in a perimeter around
Cut
your
things
house.
in half all the way around.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, that's one option. The other option is to just join them and say screw it.
You're right.
Well, on that happy note, I think that's it for today's Fili, whatever we call this thing, daily
Vlog.
update.
The Fili daily
vlog.
vlog.
Fili daily vlog. So we will see you tomorrow on Tuesday for more interesting conversation and random questions. So
Updates.
thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day.
Bye.